I sat down with UGA football star Chris Conley to discuss the role of athletic academic services, coach support, and that impact on a student athlete's academic success and life in college.
I don't think they steer. I don't think they steer you. I think the act of steering might come when someone literally puts no effort into what they want to do, or they don't choose a direction. Then they get steered when they're being, stagnant. But if someone comes in and they're driven, they know what they want to do, and they have an idea of what they enjoy doing, then they get that opportunity to choose their major. And yes, athletics provides an abundance of academic counseling and support, and going through that process and meeting with those people, they allowed me to express my interests and my strengths and weaknesses, and through that, I chose a major. Emphasis on it because it's their job. They wouldn't be hired if you weren't making the grades. They wouldn't be hired if you're not eligible. So some of the people in the academic building could care less about your sport, honestly, because they believe that you're here to get your degree from the university. When it comes to coaches, it's the opposite. Not completely. They know that you want to get a degree, but their bread and butter, their job is from winning games. And so their emphasis is, are you eligible? Are you on track? Okay, now what are you doing to become better as a player? Not from what I've seen. I've seen a lot of guys struggle just because they may have thought they would get special treatment and they didn't, or just because of academics maybe not be their thing. I've seen guys who, because of their track record with academics, may have become one of the teacher's favorites or something, not necessarily getting preferential treatment, but the teacher really likes the guy because he works hard. I've seen that happen, but not necessarily have I seen a teacher been like, oh, well, the athletes, y'all can leave, or you guys don't have to do this project. I never do, but I think they feel nervous when they sit around me. I've had people sit in seats farther away from me. Always on the first day of class, I'm the only football student athlete in Grady, and I'm about to graduate. But every single time I come in class for the first time, I typically don't know everyone because I'm dealing with athletics all day, and they take classes and they do things extracurricularly. So people never sit near me. They typically will, get a little space. Everyone looks at me weird, like I'm in the wrong class. But I never had a problem with it. I'm a very gregarious person. I think it does, and I think that for a lot of our guys, even though while they're in it, would point out the negatives or say, "Oh, I don't need this," when they leave, they realize how much of a benefit it was to them. A lot of these guys, unlike myself, I came from a really structured background where it was you're going to get this done before you do anything else. A lot of these guys don't come from that. They don't come from parents who would force them to make great grades. They don't come from a background where there was a set discipline when it came to their academics and that kind of support and help. And so when they get here, I think the biggest disconnect is they've been able to do whatever they want to do, and they get here and someone's telling them what to do. And there's a power struggle. There really is. And the guys who get it and who submit and they're like, okay, I'm going to do it right, they really succeed. And the guys who struggle and say, hey, I'm not going to do that, I'm going to do things my way, they struggle and they fall behind. But I think it's a huge benefit, and it's something that's needed, even though it might not always be wanted. I definitely feel like at some point in your career, you have to dedicate more time to one or the other, especially early in your career. Your freshman and sophomore year, you have a choice. Are you going to study really hard for the polls test that you have coming up that week, or are you going to learn the game plan and be ready to play? Because you haven't solidified your spot on the team yet. You haven't been solidified as the guy or a playmaker, but then you also haven't solidified your academics. And it's such a pivotal point in both of those careers, your academic and athletic career, that you sometimes have to make a choice. Well, with my degree, there's a lot of things I plan to do after I graduate, but with my degree, I could either see myself working for a sports news company or being a color analyst or broadcaster with a sports network, speaking and staying near the sport, staying in, being an insider, bringing some insight and bringing into normal language what happens on the football field, because a lot of people think they know what's going on when they really have no idea. So I can see myself doing that. And then also with some of the mass media stuff that I've seen myself do throughout Brady, I could see myself trying to pursue film. I could see myself